Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elizabeth, and today I'm going to talk about a book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. He is a Stanford University graduate. He created his own company, which is called Growth Lab. He's the CEO of it. He has worked in the financial sector, and he wrote this book to hopefully help people to learn the power of compound interest, to learn the power of investing, to learn the power of themselves to make a different choice and to make different choices in their financial life and to build the life that they want and that works for them. Everyone's rich life is going to look different. My rich life is going to look different than your rich life, and that's okay. And so how can we all live our own rich lives? Let's go and talk about some of the key takeaways and a 6-week quick way to get your finances into shape. All right, so the first takeaway is that no one is responsible but you for your finances and for your life. And so this goes with anything, not just your finances, but you have to realize that you are the one with the power. You are the one in control. You are the one who can make a change. So you have to figure out, you have to be the one to learn, what information do I need to know? What do I need to work on with my mindset? What do I need to work on with my habits? The Psychology of Money is another great book that I'm going to be doing a video on. And this is critical. Understand your own psychology. Understand, why do you keep buying all these things for no reason, to impress people or to feel good about yourself? You have to understand yourself and to know that you can stop doing all these bad habits and you can start earning more income, investing in assets, investing in the stock market, investing, and growing yourself as a person. It's your choice. It's up to you. And honestly, some people don't like hearing that because the onus is on them. But for me, that's empowering to say, hey, I can make a difference. I can make a change. And so go for it. Number 2, it's more important to get started than to be perfect. So this is known as the 85% rule. And so honestly, if you just get started, you're going to be better off than most people in the world. And so the best way to do things is to learn. Even with YouTube, I will relate it to that, is that my videos are, even from when I first started a few months ago, are so different. And I'm sure they're going to be way different in even more months. And so that's just part of it. You learn as you go, you grow. With investing, the same thing. I started and I just was like, I was so delayed in investing because I just heard about it and it's like, oh, you need to talk to these people about it. And I'm like, I don't know what to invest in. And they were talking about all these random stocks. It's like, all you need to know is about index funds, low cost index funds, or a target date index fund, or hire an advisor. It's not that bad. And eventually, once you learn the ropes, you could fire them and say, hey, I'm good to go. But just get yourself started. Read a book or two. And honestly, that will get you started. I can even do a video to help you open up an account and to learn how to click those buttons and invest in the right things. And you'll be good. So it's not as complicated or scary. You just have to do the work. You just have to be willing to do it. So it's more than important to get started. You can always make adjustments. You can always make tweaks. But if you don't get started, you're never going to get that compounding effect and you're not going to learn. The best way to learn is to get started, and then you can adapt and grow along the way. Number 3 is to start your investment journey today, no matter how much money you have. So you want to get started like we just talked about, but you could say, hey, I don't have a lot of money. I don't know what to do. It doesn't take a lot. You can even start with Acorns, that app, and it's just a little bit of money. So investing, it's that habit. Even taking $10 and starting to put that in an account, and then once you have enough money to buy the stock, purchase it. It's just that habit of getting yourself into investing and thinking of paying yourself first that is critical. You have to start changing your psychology and your behavior if you want to make a change in your life. Number 4, you need to understand and accept that it's okay to make mistakes in your financial journey in your life. Even my husband and I, we were going to buy a house in 2020, and that was before all the stuff went crazy. This was at the beginning, like January of 2020, and even the end of 2019, we had started looking. And so things had not hit the fan yet or gone up or were super competitive yet. And we were going to get this really nice 5-bedroom house. It was only a couple years old. It was beautiful, 2-car garage, basement, all this stuff. And it didn't feel right. And so we didn't do it. And then of course the financial market and the housing market just went up and crazy. And I don't look back on that decision with regret, even though I know we could have made a ton of money on that house, and we would be in a different situation. But the key is we would be in a different situation. And if you don't put yourself in a risky situation, or if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't try, you're never going to learn. And so that would be one thing of maybe trying that. I could have learned something and it would have potentially had a good reward. But honestly, we had a good reward because that's when I started saying, hey, I need to stop just saving our money, and we need to stop just saving our money, and we need to actually learn about money and invest. And so that's when we opened 2 Roth IRAs. We made sure we maxed out our contributions with our employers. We got our employer matches. We both maxed out and started working on maxing out our 401ks. We opened up 403bs. We ended up getting Roth 403bs. We ended up having a huge emergency savings. We moved it though to a high yield savings account. There's treasury bonds. We looked into the HSAs. We transferred an old 401k into an IRA. We opened brokerage accounts. We did so many things and just started getting more educated and learned about assets and building businesses and not trading your time for money and advocating for yourself and trying to make more money. And so it really was a critical point for my family and I because we started being educated. And so I could look at that and say, oh, we could have made this amount of money from being in that house, or we could have that house right now. But honestly, I don't look at it that way because the things that we learned were even better. And so don't freak out about it, because you could freak out about anything like that. Or like so many successful people, they invested in certain investments that didn't work out, but then they have a lot of investments that did. And so you want to focus on those, learn the lessons, and then move on. Number 5, you have to realize that ordinary actions are going to get you ordinary results. So you need to do extraordinary actions. So it's the same thing with anything in your life. There's a reason you need to raise the bar. You need to not just go along with life and figure out what life do you want to create. Because if you just do what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else has. There's so many people who are divorced. There's so many people who are miserable. There's so many people who are overweight. There's so many people who are living in so much debt. Do you want to be like everybody else? No. So let's find the people that you want to be like and start taking those actions. It's not easy. There's a reason that not everybody does it. Part of it is the lack of information, but then it's like, we know what to do if we need to be healthy. We know what we need to do, but it's hard to do it. And so you have to know that you have to have the discipline. You have to keep going if you want to have results that are different and that are more desirable than what everybody else has. Number 6 is to create a financial system where you get to spend extravagantly on buying things that you absolutely love and cut costs in areas that don't interest you. And so this theory is known as conscious spending. And so I absolutely love this. And I think it's so important. I know I can get caught up in cutting back and saving and trying to earn more money and stuff, but it's really, really important to invest in the things that you want to. And so if you're married or if you're single, whatever, get on the same page with yourself or with your spouse and decide where do you want to spend the money? And so that's going to be different for everybody. Some people want the nice car. Some people want the subscription. Some people want the gym memberships and the healthy food. Some people want the travel. Some people want to invest in a ton of books or a hobby that they have. Figure out what that is for you and be okay spending that money there. But then that's where I teach you. It's like, well, I don't want to spend a lot of money on this area. And so then don't. And so figure out how to cut that area, and then you have more money for the things that you want. And I know even for me, I've learned how much I value time and just feeling peaceful and happy and healthy. And so how can I cut costs here so that I can have more time to do that and to feel that way? Number 7, remember that there is no limit to how much you can earn, but there is a limit to how much you can cut. So I told you, my husband and I, we went through this phase. You can always do a check-in just to make sure you're staying on track, or a check-in with your budget or whatever, but you can only cut so much. You can only sell as many household items as you need to until then you have everything you need. You don't have anything else to sell. You can only invest in so many of these tax advantage accounts, etc. You can only cut back so much of your income. And so at some point you do need to make more. And so we could talk about that more on the channel. That is something that I'm working on, that I've worked on, how to go to a different paying job, how to maybe learn more skills, how to maybe create your own thing, create a brand, whatever. Tap into the skills that you have so that you can make more money. Another thing is to figure out how much money you earn and then go ahead and put those into the accounts automatically. So automation is a really key tool for success. I know even I do this with some of my YouTube stuff. I will create the videos and then I automate it. And so I don't have to post every day. I batch it at a time and then I put it out there, and then I can work on other things or work on more videos or whatever. And so this is the same thing with finances. And so you decide how much you want to contribute a month to this account and this account and this account, and then you automate it and it does it for you. You don't have to go in all the time. It just does it. And this will help you so you don't have to think about it, and it will help make sure the money's in the right place. Next is to devise a financial system that works for you and then stick to it. And so this is really important. You can't just be switching all the time. I know it is helpful sometimes to make tweaks, but you want to stay invested. You want to stay committed to your goals because it's going to take time to see the progress. If you want to make tweaks, go ahead, but really be careful. Once you stick to that plan, go for it. When you're deciding your financial goals and plans, it's also important to play offense instead of defense. This is just critical for high performers, people who want to be successful, wealthy. You have to be intentional and you have to plan. And so you want to make sure that you are playing offense. Like if you're exercising a certain amount of times a week and you're going to feel much better instead of waiting until you start feeling a lot of pain and then you start exercising, or you start getting super overweight and then you start exercising. You want to play life on offense. And so do this with your finances and start investing and start preparing yourself and start figuring out how you can learn more skills to make more money and do the right things. It is so much more fun being on offense than defense, at least in the game of finances. And lastly, use your hard-earned money to design your version of a rich life. That's the goal. You want to be able to live life in a way that feels good to you. If you live in America and certain places around the world, we have freedom. We have the ability to live life how we want to. And so you really need to identify that for yourself and figure out what that version of a rich life would mean to you. Is it spending more time with your kids? Is it going on these certain experiences? Is it feeling healthy and vibrant? Is it working on serving other people in your passion projects or whatever? Figure it out. What is your ideal life and how can you make that happen? All right, so I hope those tips were helpful for you. If you want more information, Ramit goes over a 6-week plan that could be helpful to you in your finances. And so I'm going to go ahead and link that video next. And so if you want to keep watching and figure out what the 6-week plan is to whip your finances into shape and to really feeling your best, feel free to go to that video. Otherwise, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you like this book, if you read it, or if some of these takeaways are things that you're going to think about and do in your life. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and share with someone else who you think this could be helpful in their own lives. So thank you so much for being here. You've got this. Keep working, learning, and growing. I know you can do it, and I know you can create the life and the rich life that you want to. Bye, guys. I'll see you in the next video. You got this.